everyone! Recently on Instagram, a costume company called Lanfear released some of their stunning Aiel cosplay photos. These photos received all kinds of praise and had Wheel of Time fans asking for more. On this episode, we sit down with the founder to see what he has to say. Take a look. Community show. I'm your host, Ebony. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Now, this episode is all about costuming and cosplay. To be specific, it is about the amazing production company of Lanfear. You may not know them by name, but if you've ever searched Aiel cosplay on the internet, you've sure to have seen some of their work. Lanfear is a costume production company out of South Carolina. They're made up of 5 employees and about 30 volunteers, and they specialize in costume design, costume production, cinematic photography, and film production. It's important to note that they are no way involved with the Wheel of Time on Prime project. As the Lanfear website says, their purpose is to bring imagination and history to life. I had a chance to speak with their founder, Zan Campbell, via Zoom. Here's that interview for you now.
All right, so I think we're good to get started.
Hi, I'm Zan Campbell. I am founder and CEO of Lanfear Productions.
So I just want to start out with a few questions. So who makes up Lanfear?
Absolutely. So we started Lanfear as an Instagram account about 8 years ago. We were a group of friends that loved making, it really actually didn't start with costumes. It started with, as kids, loving our favorite movies and loving the authenticity of the ones where you would see the actors learn to become these characters. So we wanted to learn how to sword fight, and we wanted to learn how to shoot bows and arrows and that sort of stuff. And back 15 years ago, we didn't have the internet like we do now, at least the resources on it. And so we had to learn how to make all of our own gear, from arrows and to the equipment that goes with it and all that sort of stuff. So we started learning to do that. And then I really got into medieval archery, and I realized I had about 400 medieval arrows and nothing to do with them. So we thought, whoa, we need to make a Robin Hood short film. And I had been involved in theater and acting and that sort of stuff. And so we got together, we made a series of little mini Robin Hood videos. Then we had a lot of pictures of those left over. And this was just when Instagram had come out, which was very artist-centric. And so we started posting them on Instagram, started gaining a following. When I got out of the Navy in 2015, I started the company, Lanfear Productions. Then we expanded the team a little bit. I actually sent messages to about 12 random Instagrammers. And I said, hey, fly to South Carolina. We're going to hang out for a weekend. We're going to make stuff. We're going to take photos of it. And we're going to post it on Instagram. Got involved with the film industry here in the upstate of South Carolina. Found kind of a niche in the market where we figure, well, we can be the costume designers for people that make short films, indie films, big YouTubers. It's just grown and grown since then.
Okay, and so how many people is your team made up of?
So there are me, and then I have one other full-time guy, Colton, and then we have 3 part-time folks and a volunteer team of about 30 people. Okay?
How do you make your costumes?
So some of the stuff we make from scratch, whether that's some of the leather work and leather armor, belts, that sort of stuff. Our blacksmith makes all our custom swords, from replicating historic designs to making original ones, like our warder swords that he made for our Wheel of Time shoot. We have potters and other people that kind of help with the props and that sort of thing. We also work with networks of other companies that make stuff. It's mostly armor. We don't forge most of our own helmets and breastplates and that sort of stuff. But pretty much all the sewing and leather work we do in-house at the shop here at Lanfear Productions.
All right, so what drew you to the Wheel of Time and for the cosplay, specifically the Aiel?
I had seen it, people had told me about the Wheel of Time series, and I had kind of, that's not really my thing, because I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm not really a fantasy literature nerd. I'm a literature nerd and a history nerd. And I actually, because we're working in the shop all the time, I can do audiobooks really well. Mm-hmm. So I figured, hey, I'm going to get it on audiobook. I'm just going to start it. And the first one was like, okay, that's pretty good. But by the end of the second book, I was hooked. And like, I love the way that Robert Jordan really tried to make things feel real. I really love stories about kind of average people just doing the right thing, because that's most of history, right? Like most of history is not Randolph Thor. It's Gareth Bryn, you know, like it's not the big person with all the superpowers and the destiny. It's the guy who's just trying to do the right thing. And so it just sucked me in, and I went through the whole series in less than 6 months. So every year we do about 6 photo shoots and 1 short film that we produce ourselves. And so this last year we did a Wheel of Time shoot. We did a Green Aja Aes Sedai with 2 warders, and then our Aiel, including Maidens of the Spear. Something that we really do here at Fell and Fair is experimental or experiential archaeology. I mean, I love reading the Wheel of Time series as somebody who's been in a cavalry charge. I understand, you know, the elements of that. As somebody who's fought with swords, who has, you know, shot bows and arrows, who has used armor, I really appreciated the way that Robert Jordan did all that. So I thought, like, I really wanted to dive in. How would these characters look in a real life gritty scenario? And so it was almost like when I was reading Wheel of Time, I could almost see the wheels working in Robert Jordan's head. As a costumer and as an armorer, it really just gave me another depth to the story as I was going through it. So one of the challenges I wanted to take on was the Aiel. I also knew that if I wanted to do a battle scene one day, I couldn't do Trollocs. So I've got designs and things prepped for White Cloaks, Aiel, and then Warders, Aes Sedai, and hopefully we will have more stuff to come. Also, like, to give you a little sneak peek right now, we're working on a Band of the Red Hand shoot. So I'm super excited to go dance with Jack of the Shadows, and we'll see what happens there. Robert Jordan over and over in the books emphasizes the practicality of the Aiel. Everything has a function. I loved really making that outfit, from having the bow case and the quiver to the bucklers. How do you hang the buckler? Because he talks about how do you just put the shufa and mask up really fast. So how do you design that so you can throw the shufa up really quickly? Those sort of things were like things I love to get into and work out. Like, where do I put my belt knife? Where do I put the quiver? What color palettes do I use, and how do I use the different garments? So the Aiel specifically was just a great challenge to work on from a experiential archaeological perspective.
But what was the goal behind the video and the photo shoots?
Honestly, I just love this stuff. For any artist, an artist is going to create their greatest work is going to be something they're passionate about. Wheel of Time has made me laugh and brought me to tears. It's just a story that I love so much. And there's side benefits to this sort of thing. You post it, you get Instagram engagement, you get more followers, that sort of stuff. And we get a lot of our business from our Instagram. What we've done is we've taken the best of our designs from our different projects, boiled them down to their essential elements, and then we actually have an online shop, and we're also on Etsy as well, where you can purchase some of the garments. Let's be honest, everybody just wants a cloak. As fans ourselves, we wanted to create products. The reason we started making things was because we couldn't buy them online. So we wanted to be that resource for people so that people would have options. So every year we have an event called Weekend Warrior, which is a 3-day immersive experiential event where you get to wear armor and have weapons and fight in a medieval battle. Yeah, so now we run an annual experiential event where people can come and just be part of this big thing and be hands-on. Because like I said, that's why we got into it, is we just love this stuff.
All right. How excited are you to see what their costuming has to offer?
I mean, it just like everything, like cautiously positive, you know?
Right. Cautiously optimistic.
I definitely am excited for it. I'm so glad that it's getting some traction because I think it's a massively overlooked series.
It is.
And it's just this absolute gem. Yeah, but who knows?
So do you have a favorite costume that you've done?
So we did a shoot back in December. We did a medieval rendition of The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Like, that just was so freaking cute. I don't know that you could ever beat that. Honestly, I wouldn't say that there's a single costume that I really love. There's pictures that I love. In my opinion, anything that tells a good story and that feels gritty and realistic is something that I love.
How long do the photo shoots usually take? It
kind of depends. The Baby Yoda and Mando photo shoot probably took less than an hour. Like usually what we do is we shoot for like 5 days straight. And we
Okay.
usually shoot a different theme every day. And we usually shoot for like 4 to 6 hours. And so, we'll shoot for 30 hours over 5 days. It's kind of like having a film shoot. It's a very extended process. You just don't need quite the same size crew as you do on a film shoot.
Is there a specific Wheel of Time character that you would like to cosplay?
Like my top favorite characters are Gawain,
Mm-hmm.
Gareth Bryn, Logain, Ruark, and Gaul, and then Matt.
Okay, so you said you have your Weekend Warrior event.
Yes.
That's the 3-day weekend event. Do you go to any other events like Renaissance festivals or anything like that?
We've been to a whole variety and assortment. We've been to we were at Dragon Con last year. We've done a whole wide variety of stuff. But for the most part, we just do our events, not because we don't want to go to other events, but we just don't have the time.
What has been your favorite photo shoot that you've done, Wheel of Time or otherwise?
Anytime I get to ride a horse.
Okay.
So, I love riding. We got to shoot a short film about this time last year. I think we're releasing it in the next couple months. But like I said, I got to be part of a cavalry charge. That was awesome. You get the thunder of the hooves and the banners flapping and the sword. That's awesome. The more authentic and real a photo shoot is, like the more you have to be doing the real thing to do the shoot. We did a great one. We did like a ranger overnight expedition. Like we literally just packed up all our gear, walked out into the woods with a photographer, and came back the next day. Yeah. So anytime I get to actually do the things that I'm pretending I'm doing.
And the last question I have is, what do you see as the future for your company?
We will see what the next couple months hold because, the whole world is upside down
Kind
right
of
now.
on pause. Yeah.
Storytelling is my passion. And film and events and costumes are the method that I've been gifted to be able to do that. So as we grow and as we build, I would love to see Weekend Warrior become a permanent long-term thing where we have villages and castles and can, have our own facility that we can do that stuff instead of having to rent other people's facilities. I'd love to see our film production side and our in-house film side start doing feature films. Yeah, and I'd love to see our retail side grow off so that I can pay somebody else to run it instead of having to run it myself. I can go tell stories. It's totally worth it because the satisfaction that you get of people being able to say, I got a cloak for the first time. Like literally, I got a Instagram message from a girl who had bought a cloak and literally just wore it to every one of her Zoom classes the next day and just drank tea and wore her cloak around the house the whole next day. Like that's the sort of thing that you just can't replace that. I mean, the stories that we get back from people who one girl said, I literally forgot what it was like to have fun and be a kid until I came back to Weekend Warrior. And I got to play make-believe and sword fight people and shoot people with arrows all weekend. Mm-hmm. Being able to give people that sort of hands-on experience is just such a blessing.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You have a great day. Night.
Thank you. Stay safe.
All right, thanks.
Well, that's it for the interview. You can see more of their work at felonfair.com. Let us know what you thought of the interview and their work in the comments down below. See y'all next time.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And you know what? Leave us a comment. We love comments, especially positive ones. Also, if you have somebody that you know that loves the Wheel of Time, let them know about us. Also, a huge special thanks to our sponsor, Tor Books, as well as our amazing Patreon community. If you want to learn more about how this show is made or about the Wheel of Time in general, you too can become a Patreon. As always, please follow us on Dragonmount. So we'll see you on social media and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.